Hello there, I'm Sconculus, and this is TEPPEN Deck Teck, where I present to you decks that are fun, strong, or interesting. Today we are playing Spirit Raging Demon. Spirits is a classic shell for Raging Demon thanks to the legendary Oichi's Ascend, as well as her MP reduction naturally lending the deck to two color variants. The deck has seen some success in recent seasons with green-black, which provides recurrable seals to enable Akuma's mid-range playstyle, but rather than the tried and true, we are playing a completely different take on spirits. This deck plans to use Raging Demon as part of our combo and to achieve our win con. It should make more sense as we get into the card by card. First of all, we have the brand new Rakta, who when ascended gains 2 attack and gives +2/+2 to any units in our EX pocket. The way we have our deck built, getting the setup for Rakta is extremely consistent, and he is almost never a card we need to use Raging Demon on. It might seem unlikely, but ascending at least 2 Rakta in a game is not difficult at all, and the sooner we can, the more power we have in any game. The main reason this is so easy is our next card, Blue Imp. This card searches a spirit on death, so if we ascend them for Rakta, whatever they search will be buffed immediately. You can ascend Blue Imp for Rakta every time as long as you play them with at least 4 MP in a lane without a 4 attack or higher unit. 1 attack cycle will charge 3 MP you spend on Imp, so just ascend right before they attack. Our next card to enable Rakta is Foresight. This card makes our deck much more consistent and aggressive and can draw some of our most powerful units into our EX pocket. Consistent Foresight setup is the main reason we are playing entirely units, and one other action card, Cursed Zone. This is one more way to set up Rakta and gives our deck more staying power, but is much slower than Foresight and can be a bit cloggy when our games go longer. Our remaining purple cards are 2 Maeda Keiji, who is the most compelling reason to play Purple Raging Demon. Our win con is to play this card once we charge Raging Demon unascended, effectively claiming a lane. If our opponent then plays a card in front of them, they take direct burn and we ascend Keiji, setting them way back. Anybody who has read this card is very unlikely to do that, however, which instead puts them on a 2 damage clock to beat us, letting us save our Raging Demon in the process. And next is our signature card, Earth Knows. This card might seem ridiculous, and that is exactly what makes it so powerful. Something about Earth Knows just seems to bother people, and they never quite know how to deal with it. The card is a spirit, if you're unclear on the synergy. It's not quite a win con, but Earth Knows getting buffed by Rakta gives people more trouble than it has any right to, as well as being a guaranteed ascend every time. Moving on to our black cards, we have the usual spirit engine of 3 Thunder Doomir, as well as 2 Bandit Spider. I wanted to cut this card so stronger spirits would always get the Rakta buff, but as soon as I did, the deck lost all its momentum. Cursed Zone also ensures we see it multiple times, so 2 is plenty. Next we have 3 Tube Foxes, of course. Rakta lets us bring these guys out at 5/7, which will usually end the game right then. Besides that, this card is still the easiest way to activate Raging Demon, demanding additional answers anytime we do. The last few cards we have are Demon King Oda Nobunaga, who is right at home among the Earth Noses. Akuma, similarly, is a great follow-up to the high attack stat of all our spirit units, and the most dangerous of those spirits is Blight. This card is an easy answer to almost any unit in the game, even able to one-shot fate-defying Ryu. Blight is a great reactive card, but if this card is buffed by Rakta, playing it in an empty lane demands a lot of resources from our opponent. You can swap this card out for the brand new Zombie Dragon, but that isn't quite the universal answer that Blight is. Our very last card is Dark Whispers Oichi. This card takes a while to set up, but she is our comeback mechanic. Oichi performs arguably the strongest Raging Demon in TEPPEN, giving us consistent board presence as soon as she's summoned, which sets us up for further ascents. The high impact of this card make it worth playing as soon as it's 5 MP. In most games we will charge 1 Raging Demon, 2 if we can keep trading, so making the right choice under pressure between Oichi, Kaeji, and Tube Foxes is usually what wins or loses us the game. Here's the deck QR for you, and with all that said, let's get into it. Game 1, we are up against the ever-meta felyne shieldspire. Hopefully we can beat them before they grow too powerful. We open our most powerful unit, Rokta, and we'll start things off with Thunder Doom Mirror. Our opponent plays Iris to ramp their MP, and we will play Blue Imp in front of them to do 2 damage to Iris before we ascend them for Rokta. Our opponent will play Felyne and use Shieldspire on Iris to try and keep them around a bit longer, but Rokta cares not for their Shieldspire. We'll play Nero in the top lane, and we will play our buffed Thundernose in front of them, which would have dealt with Nero if they did not have the Mia Fey to ascend and heal him. We will ascend our Akuma to deal with their Mia Fey, but Nero is still a problem for us. They will play Rocky, who has a quest on HP increase, and use Shieldspire to complete that first quest, giving him shield. They will use Disarm on our Akuma. They have a big damage setup whenever they want to, so we will use our 2 foxes to get them right off of that before it becomes a problem. They will use Evasive Action to heal their Feline back to full HP, but unless they have something to deal with all the pressure we are putting on the other 2 lanes, this looks like game over for them. We bring them down to 6 HP and they play Ieyasu, who will be live in 10 more seconds, but it is game over now for game 1. Game 2, we are up against Nero, Hey Nico, which hopefully means our opponent is playing something equally as interesting as we are. We open a couple of our best units for forward momentum, and we'll start things off with Bandit Spider. Our opponent plays Green Imp and we'll play Thunder Doom Mirror in front of them. They ascend Itsuki, triggering their seal. Itsuki is extremely dangerous, but hopefully we can deal with them right now using Blight. Unfortunately, Block will stop that plan. We respond with Foresight, and they use the combo that they searched off of Nohime. Itsuki is now a combo Crush Heavy Pierce unit, which is a serious problem for us, except for the fact that we can deal with their entire field using Akuma. Hate to see it. They do respond with Hitsuyaku to seal our Akuma, and they use Hey Nico to search a card to their hand, activating it immediately. It's Gerbera, which will deal with our entire field. At least we search 1 unit with our Blue Imp that we played. We will play Earth Nose to deal with their Nohime finally, and another Earth Nose in front of their Green Imp. Once their Green Imp is destroyed, it will seal our Earth Nose, but they do not want to allow us to do that. They do not want the power of Earth Nose unleashed. They heal back to full health, saving their Green Imp for a more important seal, and they will play another Hellcana. Both of these cards have Crush, which looks like it could be a serious problem with the type of strategy they're playing. We ascend for Rokta, which buffs up our Earth Nose, and we will play that in front of Hellcana, which should make slow work of it. They search Ragtime with Hey Nico, which will halt all of our units. We respond with Cursed Zone, which allows our opponent to use Shield on their Hellkina, who has now been healed twice by Mia Fey. We'll ascend Rokta in front of Mia Fey, bringing the Rokta in our hand to its maximum potential. We have 1 Earth Nose in our EX pocket, and I think more than anything else, I just want to ascend Rokta to further buff our Earth Nose. Our opponent will activate Wall Jump to protect their Mia Fey as long as they can, destroying our first Rokta. They will play Nohime, which will search them another copy of Combo, and they ascend Itsuki over their Mia Fey. We ascend Rokta, which allows us to play a full power Earth Nose, and our opponent will activate Hey Nico, searching something to their hand. They will activate that card, which looks to be Ragtime. That will stop us from doing any damage to their Hellkina. They get in for considerable damage with Itsuki, but we are able to finally use our first Raging Demon with Maeda Keiji. Our opponent will play Iris, taking 1 damage by Maeda's effect, and we will ascend for Dark Whispers Oichi. We will get a Bandit Spider back to the field, and our opponent plays Green Imp in front of Oichi. Our opponent activates Water Dragon's Roar to try and beat us before we beat them, but with exact lethal on board, we take a close game 2. Game 3, we are up against the deck that still doesn't die, Wesker, Bringer of Nightmares. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have their revenge on us. We'll start things off with Thunder Doom Mirror, a 3-attack unit that we will ascend right before our opponent has the chance to block them. Oda Nobunaga will go up to 5/8 and is able to one-shot the Wesker that our opponent plays in front of them. They get another wesker to our field, which we will block with Blight, and they play Tenkai to defeat our Odu Nobunaga, bring themselves to exactly 12 for Bringer of Nightmares. They activate Bringer, searching either Tenkai or Wesker, and we will play Bandit Spider in the top lane. Our opponent will just miss their perfect block with Zombie, allowing us to get in for 4 damage with Blight. Zombie will destroy Blight, and they will play another Zombie to destroy our Thunder Doom Mirror. We will ascend Maeda Keiji, and our opponent has the perfect answer with Punishment for Betrayal. We'll activate Foresight and draw a Rakta to our hand, which I'm not too broken up about since we have another Rakta ready to buff them. We will play Blue Imp, setting up our Rakta play, ascending them, getting an Earth Nose to our hand. Our opponent will play Tenkai to do a bit of damage to Earth Nose and heal themselves, and they will activate Gathering Effluvium to destroy them. They will ascend for 2 Foxes to try and get in as much damage as they can with our field open, but we can block it perfectly with Earth Nose. Unfortunately, our opponent is stacked up on Effluvium. We will respond with Foresight, and they will use Selfish Predation to heal themselves up to 28. We will draw our Odu Nobunaga to our hand, which we can hopefully buff even further using Rakta. We'll see if we can do that using Tube Foxes, but our opponent blocks it before we have the chance to ascend. We will play Blue Imp as well as Bandit Spider. I don't exactly want Blue Imp dying while we have a full EX pocket. Whatever they search will just go right to the graveyard. We are able to ascend Rakta and ascend Oda Nobunaga, freeing up our EX pocket, but the timing is terrible, destroying Tenkai and transforming their Rao into Ninetales. They are able to make short work of our Nobunaga using Dreadful Business, and we can't even respond without destroying another unit by Rao's effect. We'll play Thunder Doom Mirror and ascend Rakta right in front of Rao, which will force our opponent to put her back in the deck using Gathering Evil. I respond with Foresight, and I admittedly just forgot somehow. I don't know, it was totally just a weird misplay. They are able to respond with Punishment for Betrayal, which destroys our Rakta, putting us way less ahead than we would have been. We'll play Blight in the top lane, and our opponent is able to one-shot them using Tenkai. We will play Maeda Keiji in the middle lane, which puts us in a pretty good position all things considered, but our opponent is able to deny it right out with their Tyrant Trader Raymarsh. We still have our Raging Demon, we didn't use it, and we'll use that to destroy their Raymarsh. Our buffed up Tube Foxes is efficiently dealt with using their Tyrant and Zombie. We'll ascend Akuma to destroy their Zombie, but they destroy our Akuma with Underhanded Abduction, and we are entirely out of cards at this point. We will get 1 Blue Imp back to our hand, and with Oichi at the bottom of our deck, it doesn't look like we will be able to bring her cost down in time. We'll play our Earth Nose, but our opponent has an answer to it with Wesker. We'll play Blue Imp, and they'll have nothing to search. Oichi will go down to 7. We're still ahead by 10 HP. Our opponent will search the Ninetales that they put back with Gathering Evil. We can ascend one more time with 2 boxes to destroy their 2 boxes. With things looking extremely bad for us, I panic and activate Cursed Zone. This does destroy our Tube Foxes by Ninetales effect, but there isn't really any other option for us. Our opponent is able to use Selfish Predation, which will bring them up above our HP, and with no cards left, the timer will run out and our opponent will take Game 3. Here we are again, and yeah, this deck actually works. The synergy is there, and the speed at which it plays allows it to take a surprising number of games. I won't try to convince you that purple-black is the new meta Raging Demon, but those of you with an open mind will have a blast with this deck, I am sure. I will try to come up with a list for mono Raging Demon and post it either to Discord or my Twitter, and I will post a link down below once I do. As far as matchups go, green players we are usually able to outpace, as well as having a perfectly timed Raging Demon whenever they go for a big play. Purple we do surprisingly well against with their most powerful interaction, D-Ace, whiffing on most of our units. The other things that make purple tier 1, however, do still give us trouble. Black can be annoying if they are on multiple low MP destroys, but I would still also call that an even matchup. Our most difficult matchup is against red players, who are able to deal with Maeda Keiji without committing to the board in front of him, and will usually beat us with any of their Momo combos before we can reach Raging Demon. I would recommend the deck to anybody who is open to a new take on Raging Demon, as well as anybody who just wants to summon some Earth Noses. But as for that episode, please let me know down below whether you would rather see a purple combo deck or a black control deck. Please like the video if you liked the video, subscribe if you subscribed. Once again, I'm Sconchulus, and I will see you in the next one.